5 rules to be the best at anything, not just good, not just average, but the best. And here's the truth. Being the best doesn't start with luck. It doesn't start with talent. It starts with rules. Simple, clear. Rules that, if you follow them, will lift you above the crowd. Most people never learn them. Most people settle for less. But you, if you follow them, they'll take you to the top. If you ignore them, you'll stay where you are. So today, I want to share with you 5 rules, 5 principles that will separate you from the average, 5 rules that, if practiced daily, will make you extraordinary. Because the truth is, success is predictable. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's hard work, discipline, and following the right rules. 5 rules. Follow them, live them, and watch how they transform you into someone the world cannot ignore. Rule 1, embrace continuous practice and learning. Success is built not in one giant leap, but in small, deliberate steps, every day, over time. Now let's talk about the first rule. If you want to be the best at anything, you've got to embrace practice, and you've got to embrace learning. Because here's the truth. The outcome is not the focus. The process is the focus. Most people, they dream about the finish line. They want the medal. They want the applause. But they don't want the miles it takes to get there. See, champions don't rise on the day of the competition. They rise in the quiet hours of practice, when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when it's just them and the work. And that's what it takes if you want to be the best. You can't only look at the reward. You must fall in love with the process. So let me give you something simple. Don't just say, I want to be great. Say, I want to practice greatness daily. If your goal is health, focus on the daily meal. If your goal is wealth, focus on the daily discipline with your money. If your goal is mastery in your career, focus on the daily study, the daily skill, the daily effort. Because success is never built in a day. It is built daily. Don't count the days until success. Make the days count by what you put into them. Now here's the second part. If you want to be the best, you can't ever stop learning. Why? Because the world is moving, knowledge is expanding, opportunities are shifting, and the moment you stop learning, you start falling behind. Winners, real winners, keep a notebook open. They read. They ask questions. They seek out mentors. They take lessons from failure, and they turn them into wisdom. The best at anything don't just practice. They improve their practice. That's the difference. 1 hour of practice with no reflection is just motion, but 1 hour of practice with learning, with review, with adjustment becomes mastery. Don't just do the same thing over and over. Do it better each time. Now let's go deeper. It's not just practice that makes perfect. It's deliberate practice. Practice with intention. Practice with focus. Practice with challenge. Because easy practice doesn't build strength. It builds comfort. But the best don't practice for comfort. They practice for growth. Think about it. A pianist doesn't just play the song they already know. They push into the difficult part. They stumble. They correct. They refine. That's deliberate practice. An athlete doesn't just jog at the same pace every day. They sprint. They lift. They break through resistance. That's what builds power. And the same is true in your life. If you want to be the best, you must push past where you are. Stretch yourself. Do what is uncomfortable until it becomes natural. Now listen carefully. Practice, learning, deliberate effort. This is the rhythm of mastery. It's like a cycle. Do the work. Learn from the work. Improve the work. Do it again and again and again. Not for 1 day, not for 1 week, but for as long as it takes. That's the price of becoming the best. And it's also the reward, because there's joy in the process. There's pride in the improvement. There's dignity in the discipline. And over time, the process delivers the prize. So remember this. Don't chase the medal before you've run the race. Don't chase the applause before you've earned the skill. Focus on your daily actions. Commit to constant learning. Dedicate yourself to deliberate practice, because success is not something you stumble into. It is something you build with your hands, with your mind, with your effort, daily. And if you do that, one day you'll wake up and you'll realize you've become the best, not by accident, but by practice, not by luck, but by learning, not by magic, but by mastery. That's rule number 1. Embrace continuous practice and learning. Rule 2. Focus on one thing until mastered. The secret to greatness is not doing everything. It is doing one thing long enough until you master it. Most people never become great. Do you know why? Because they scatter their effort. They chase one thing today, another tomorrow, and another next week. They start with energy, but they don't stay long enough to see results. And here's the truth. You cannot master anything if you're always moving on to the next thing. Greatness comes from focus, from discipline, from staying with it until the work shapes you, until the skill belongs to you. Now, I'll tell you what's easy. It's easy to be distracted. It's easy to start something new. A new project, a new business, a new hobby, a new idea. It feels exciting in the beginning, fresh, full of promise. But listen, excitement fades, and what's left? The work, the discipline, the grind. That's where most people quit. They think mastery is about talent, but it's not. It's about focus. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a magnifying glass. If you move it around in the sun, it won't do much. But if you hold it steady, in one spot, the rays of the sun gather. And soon, it has the power to start a fire. That's focus. Your energy, your time, your attention, when spread across many things, they are weak. But when concentrated on one thing, they are powerful. The best at anything are not scattered. They are focused, laser focused. I remember when I was young, I wanted everything fast. I tried this. I tried that. I thought, if I do many things, one of them will work. But you know what happened? Nothing worked, because I never stayed long enough. One day, a mentor told me, Jim, you can dig 100 shallow holes and never reach water. Or you can dig one deep well and find what you're looking for. That lesson changed me. I realized success is not about trying everything. It's about committing to something and giving it time to grow. Now, here's the key phrase. Focus on one thing until mastered, not until you're bored, not until it gets hard, not until someone else distracts you, until mastered. That means you stay, you work, you repeat, you refine, you don't just dabble, you dive deep, you own the skill, you live the discipline, and then, and only then, you move to the next thing. Because mastery creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence, and confidence creates success. Most people never see their potential because they stop at average. They learn just enough to get by. They practice just enough to be okay. But they don't stay long enough to be excellent. And that's why the crowd is crowded. The middle is full. But the top is always open. Because very few are willing to do the work to master. So here's what I'd ask you. What is the one thing in your life right now that deserves your full focus? Is it your health? Then stop dabbling. Learn it. Practice it. Live it until you master it. Is it your career? Then stop jumping around. Commit to it. Grow in it until you master it. Is it your personal discipline? Then focus on the habits. Build them. Strengthen them until they belong to you. Don't be everywhere. Be somewhere fully. So remember this. You cannot be the best at anything by being half-hearted. You cannot be a master by being a wanderer. Pick one thing, one pursuit, one focus. Stay with it until it is yours. until your skill is sharp, until your discipline is unshakable. Because mastery is not a gift. It is earned by focus. It is achieved by staying. It is built one day at a time. So if you want to be the best at anything, don't chase everything. Focus on one thing until mastered. Rule 3. Stay humble. Stay hungry. Stay becoming. Success is not a destination. It is a process. It is not about what you achieve. It's about who you become. Now here's something I've learned. Success is dangerous. Yes, you heard me right. Success can make you arrogant. It can make you think you've arrived. And once you think you've arrived, you stop growing. You stop learning. You stop stretching. That's the trap. Many people climb a little, make some money, get some recognition, and suddenly they forget the very habits that got them there. They stop practicing. They stop improving. They stop becoming. And what happens? They decline. Quietly, slowly, surely. The first rule is humility. Stay humble. Because arrogance closes doors. But humility keeps you open. Arrogance says, I know it all. Humility whispers, I can learn more. Arrogance isolates you. Humility connects you. And the truth is, no matter how good you are, there's always someone better. No matter how much you know, there's always more to learn. Stay humble enough to be a student. Stay humble enough to listen. Stay humble enough to accept correction. Because humility is not weakness. It's strength under control. It's confidence without pride. Now, the second part, stay hungry. Hunger is the fire that drives progress. Hunger is the reason you get up earlier, stay later, and push harder. Without hunger, you get comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of growth. Think about it when you were struggling. Weren't you hungry? Hungry for change. Hungry for opportunity. Hungry for success. But when people taste a little success, they often lose that hunger. They forget the fight. They forget the fire. So here's the challenge. Never let comfort kill your hunger. Feed your mind with goals. Feed your spirit with vision. Feed your heart with purpose. Stay hungry for more learning. Stay hungry for more discipline. Stay hungry for more growth. Because hunger keeps you moving when others stop. And here's the last part. Stay becoming it. Now that's a phrase worth remembering. Not stay successful. Not stay impressive. Stay becoming. Because life is not about being. It's about becoming. Becoming stronger. Becoming wiser. Becoming more disciplined. Becoming more valuable. The best never think they've arrived. They stay on the journey. They stay in process. They stay becoming. I remember when I first began to taste success. A little money came in. People started to notice me. And I thought, I've made it. But then I realized something. If I stopped growing, that little success would soon disappear. So I made a decision. No matter how far I climb, I would stay humble enough to learn. I would stay hungry enough to chase the next level. And I would stay committed to the process of becoming. That decision saved me because it reminded me success is never final and growth is never finished. Think of the greats, the best athletes, the best leaders, the best thinkers. What do they all have in common? They never stop learning. They never stop improving. They never stop becoming. They may celebrate milestones, but they never camp at them. They know the journey continues. Always. So here's what I'd ask you. Where in your life have you grown complacent? Where have you stopped learning? Where have you lost the hunger? If you want to be the best at anything, you must guard against pride. You must protect your hunger. And you must commit to becoming, not just this year, not just until you hit one goal, but for life. Stay humble enough to remain a student. Stay hungry enough to keep chasing growth. Stay committed enough to becoming more every day. So remember, rule 3, stay humble, stay hungry, stay becoming, because the moment you think you've arrived, you begin to decline. But if you stay humble, you'll always learn. If you stay hungry, you'll always push. If you stay becoming, you'll always grow. That's how you not only achieve success, but keep it. That's how you not only win once, but keep winning. So don't just be. Keep becoming. That's the secret to greatness. Rule 4. Demand the best from yourself, always. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is the standards you set for yourself. Now let's talk about rule #4. If you want to be the best at anything, you must demand the best from yourself. Always. Not sometimes. Not when you feel like it. Not when it's convenient. Always. Because excellence is not an accident. It is a habit, a discipline, a decision, and the moment you lower your standards, that's the moment growth stops. Most people never reach their potential. Do you know why? It's not talent. It's not opportunity. It's standards. They settle. They do just enough to get by. They convince themselves it's good enough. And the truth is, good enough is not enough. Excellence is born from high standards, and high standards are born from demanding the best from yourself. You see, the world won't push you. No one will. If you want greatness, you have to demand it from within. Now here's the thing. When you set high expectations for yourself, you start acting differently. You take your work more seriously. You treat people with more respect. You manage your time with more care. Your choices change. Your habits change. Your life changes. It's not about perfection. It's about intention. It's about discipline. It's about refusing to settle for less than your potential. I remember early in my career, I noticed I was doing just enough. I was meeting the minimum expectations, and it showed. A mentor pulled me aside and said, "Jim, you're capable of more. Demand it of yourself. Don't wait for someone else to make you better. Decide it now." And that changed everything. Demanding the best from yourself doesn't just improve results. It improves character. It builds confidence. It builds integrity. When you hold yourself accountable, even when no one is watching, you develop trust in yourself. And that trust is priceless, because life will test you. Life will challenge you. Life will tempt you to take shortcuts. But if your standards are clear, you won't bend. You won't compromise. You won't settle. Demanding the best isn't a one-time decision. It's daily. It's moment to moment. It's showing up on time. It's finishing what you start, even when it's difficult. It's doing the small things right, because they matter. Most people ignore the small things, but the best. They do the small things consistently, and the small things add up to excellence. I'll tell you a story. Early in my speaking career, I had a choice. Prepare my speech carefully, or just wing it. I chose preparation. I rehearsed. I polished. I pushed myself to do better than yesterday. And that discipline, that demand for my best, built a reputation, built trust, built success that lasted decades. Now here's the hardest part. Demanding your best is uncomfortable. It asks more of you than you feel like giving. It requires sacrifices. It challenges your laziness. Comfort is easy. Excellence is not. If you want to be the best, you must choose discomfort. You must choose effort over ease. You must choose growth over comfort. And you must remind yourself every day that the best version of you is worth the work. When you demand the best from yourself, it influences everyone around you. Your team, your family, your friends. They see your standards. They feel your discipline, and it inspires them to rise. Excellence is contagious. Leadership is reflected in the standards you set for yourself. So don't just improve for yourself. Raise your standard and lift those around you. Ask yourself, am I doing enough today to match my potential? Am I showing up fully in my work, in my relationships, in my life? If the answer is no, then raise your standard. Demand more. Push harder. Not to impress others. Not to gain recognition, but to honor your potential, to respect your purpose, to live a life you can be proud of. Because when you demand the best from yourself, you create a life that cannot be ignored. You become someone the world respects. You become unstoppable. So remember rule 4. Demand the best from yourself. Always. Even when no one is watching. Even when it's hard. even when you're tired, because excellence is not about luck. It's not about timing. It's about standards. Set high standards. Live by them. And watch how it transforms your work, your life, your future. The best at anything are not the luckiest. They are not the smartest. They are the ones who demand the best from themselves every single day. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that's not just a phrase. It's a reality. It's one of the most powerful truths about success. If you want to be the best at anything, you must surround yourself with excellence, not mediocrity, not complacency. Excellence. Most people underestimate the power of their environment. They think success is only about talent. They think success is only about effort. But let me tell you something. Your circle shapes your destiny. The people around you influence your thinking. They influence your habits. They influence your actions. If you're with negative people, you start thinking negatively. If you're with lazy people, your ambition fades. If you're with small thinkers, your vision shrinks. And conversely, if you're with people who are disciplined, motivated, and wise, you will begin to think bigger. You will begin to act smarter. You will begin to achieve more. Excellence is contagious, and mediocrity is contagious too. Here's the challenge. Not everyone deserves your time. Not every relationship deserves your energy. Be selective. Be intentional. Choose people who lift you, people who challenge you, people who inspire you. Because when you surround yourself with excellence, you are investing in your own success. I remember early in my career, I was eager. I was ambitious, but I was also inexperienced. I spent time with people who didn't know the value of discipline, who didn't understand the power of focus. And guess what happened? I learned some lessons the hard way. I struggled longer than I needed to. Then I met mentors, people who had done what I wanted to do, people who had succeeded in business, in life, in character, and everything changed. Their thinking rubbed off on me. Their habits became mine. Their success became my roadmap. Excellence doesn't just teach you new skills. It inspires growth in character. You see, successful people don't just do things differently. They think differently. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. They act where others hesitate. And when you spend time with them, you begin to adopt that mindset. You start thinking bigger. You start acting bolder. And slowly, inevitably, you start becoming like them. But here's the warning. If you stay with mediocrity, you will remain mediocre. I've seen it happen over and over. People settle for comfort. They stay in circles that don't challenge them, and they watch others pass them by. Success is not just about working hard. It's also about being in the right company. Because your friends, your colleagues, your mentors, they are either a catalyst or a cage. So ask yourself, who am I spending most of my time with? Are they lifting me or holding me back? Surrounding yourself with excellence doesn't just mean friends. It means mentors, people who have walked the path before you, people who can guide you, correct you, and inspire you. A mentor shortens your learning curve. They save you from mistakes. They open doors you couldn't open alone. And then there are role models, people you may not know personally, but whose books, speeches, and ideas shape your thinking. Consume them daily. Learn from them. Apply their wisdom. Because excellence is both visible and invisible. It's the people you spend time with and the ideas you feed your mind with. When you surround yourself with excellence, it doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone around you. Your family, your team, your colleagues. They begin to rise because you are raising yourself. Excellence attracts excellence. Ambition attracts ambition. Discipline attracts discipline. And in this way, you create a circle of growth, a circle that pushes you to be your best and helps others to be theirs. I remember a time when I felt stuck. I was working hard, but I wasn't moving fast enough. Then I started spending more time with people who were ahead of me, people who were disciplined, focused, and successful. At first, it was intimidating. I felt like I couldn't measure up. But then something amazing happened. Their habits rubbed off on me. Their mindset became mine. And slowly, I began to see results I hadn't imagined before. That's the power of surrounding yourself with excellence. It lifts you up, whether you realize it or not. So here's what I want you to do. Look at your circle. Evaluate it carefully. Are these people helping you become the best? Are they inspiring you to grow, to learn, to improve? Or are they holding you back, keeping you small, keeping you comfortable? Then take action. Seek out excellence. Step into circles that challenge you. Invest in relationships that raise your standards. Because your circle, your environment, it shapes your destiny. So remember, Rule 5. Surround yourself with excellence, not mediocrity, not complacency.